Good to have you with us.
I thought when you asked to come on the show, it was because you were going to do it, right? You're going to read all the stuff in the front.
If you want, I'll just take over from here.
Welcome back. Season 2 of Tuesdays with Tori, as I'm calling it, is just going to be Frank helping me get out of my slump here. Oh, goodness. That was a little funnier than it needed to be. Hello, everybody. Oh, my goodness. And now technology's mad. Saving changes. Exactly. Thank you, Ken. Maniacal laugh. That's really all you can say about today. So, hello, world. If you're just joining in, welcome. This is a little shindig, diddly web stream thing I call Tuesdays with Tori, where, I accidentally totally took a totally planned, graceful exit for a little bit there. So we're just going to jump back in and call it season 2 because it's great that I have my friend Frank here today because we really have great things to celebrate. So I'm going to do the quick intro, if people have to scroll back to figure out what's going on because you got to the good meat. This is the part where I tell people so that maybe I don't get shadow banned so much that I am going to talk about sexual wellness in terms of business. So if you don't want to talk about some of the products that go along with that, you don't want to hear some anatomy or me talk about condoms and have bad jokes, please scroll away to your convenience. Have you left or are you still here? Great. So it's me, the Tori, the self-claimed condom charmer. That's a different fun story we'll get into later. But now I'm just calling this season 2. This whole thing kind of started because I did 8 years in a liquid life of lubricant. And then I moved into condoms and I just kind of thought I knew some things and I really don't know anything. So in the spirit of you just don't know what you don't know, I started screaming or streaming or whatever you want to call it to the internet here, which I like to refer to as the ether, which kind of goes with the feeling of today's episode, right? So without further ado, I'm going to give you my condom joke of the day because I decided we need a condom joke before we kick off the introduction. That is the Frank. So you ready, right? Why did the condom get promoted? Right? They put their application in. Why did they get chosen, right? Oh, because it always knew how to cover for everyone else. Okay. Dad jokes will get me through things. Oh, how cute. Look, you can see if I go big screen, oh, look, I can post you and I can see Ken. This is newness. Can you see Ken's stuff here on the bottom? And then on the left and the right. Sorry, look at learning together. Right. Yeah, don't let the door hit you in the ass. You might like it. Oh, he's got dirty jokes for us today. This is great. Okay. This is also the part where I think Instagram's finally connecting in. So sometimes there's a quick lag and I get 5 comments if anybody's here. But awesome. So connection is maybe working and we have a cam. Oh, we can talk shit on the main screen now. You can. It's like I got a super chat. Why not? But not really. But what are you going to talk shit about, Cam? Do you need support somewhere, right? If you have shit to talk about, I'd love to verbally process that with you, my friend.
You walked into that, Cam.
Right? Because we've got you covered at Paradise Marketing, literally, because I'm a dork. Okay, one more quick little update before I give it all to Frank, because it's going to be his job now, right? If you didn't know, I am doing a web stream, a webinar for the SWPA next week on the 28th. I will be talking about the power of storytelling and just how to make it work for your sales and marketing. So, right, we'll have a little story Tori time. I'll post some stuff about that later. But in case, you want to block out a little bit of time, that is Wednesday. I think it's 10 o'clock for the Pacific people, which means it's noon, 1 o'clock for me. But don't quote me yet. I'll figure it out. Ooh, we have another one. Thank you, Ken. Why did the condom fly across the room? Ooh. Because they got pissed off.
Tell us. They got pissed off.
That's 2 points for Gryffindor. Thank you, Ken. So without further ado, everybody came to hear our good friend Frank here talk. I got to give him just this, because I'm going to clip this. I want you maybe to use it. So I'll do the cute introduction that I for sure wrote out, and then you can introduce yourself the right way for the people here. But I'm welcoming back a past favorite, right? I'm really honored that you came back to the show because I remember maybe a little over a year ago, it was like, I'm struggling just the stuff that happens to happen in our category, and I'm not giving up. So I love that. And now I can't give up either. So thank you. But he's a powerhouse, right? Frank over here, he's the artist and the visionary behind the Vibrating Tarot deck, which is kickstarting right now. And we'll go over all that stuff. I bought mine. Oh, I had a sample. I found, I haven't found a lot of things like my real tarot deck, but I did find my sample from last year.
Yeah, that's the sample deck we did in 2024.
I know. I'm excited to see because there's been a lot of artwork updates. Anyway,
There's
squirrel.
been, yeah.
But this is a tarot deck. It's a one-of-a-kind project that blends over 300 pleasure professional products with traditional tarot card archetypes. And it's artistic and it's intuitive and it's beautiful and boldly adult. Shall we? So here's the real conversation. I'm going to let Frank go into it, but if you're wondering, like, why the hell do I want to talk about a tarot deck, Tori, besides doing the super chat shit talking, right? I'm sure Cam is like wondering, not really, because I know he loves you, but in theory, I just want to make sure everybody's paying attention and we're taking notes. Because yes, this is my show where I get to rant, but also I'm hoping sometimes people might be able to use it to their advantage. So why should I care? Why should I care? Besides, we love the Frank, and maybe I slightly, entertain you on occasion. This sort of project takes sexual wellness out of the shadows, right? There's still maybe a lot of people that don't kind of hang out in Wiccan culture or whatever, but tarot cards are, I want to call them like they've joined their own Etsy group, so to speak, right? So making something a little bit more approachable in our category is only just one more step to not dealing with some of the hurdles that I know Frank is going to go into here soon, right? And frankly, pun intended, it's kind of project that invites us all to just kind of rethink how we present our products, right? Adapt or die. So we'll talk about, how that relates to any sort of brand legacies and how we can connect with any of the customers on a more emotional way. And that's also storytelling. So I'm prepping myself for next week. So you see how I do this? This is all for me, really, even though I have fun turning it over to Frank. Okay, so we do the big round of applause. It's Frank. He's here, and I talked too much now. I'll give you some questions here in a minute, but I just want you to be able to like celebrate and just have at it for a minute.
Thank you. Well, thanks for everything. Thanks for having me on a year ago, and thanks for having me again here today. It's a beautiful day here, and I hope it's a beautiful day wherever you are watching us. Thanks to everyone for joining. What can I say about Vibrating Tarot? A lot of people in this industry already know quite a lot about it. I was fortunate to attend some of the trade shows from being invited by some of the brands, and we'll get into that later. But I'm really happy to have met all of you because it gave me the chance to get in front of you all for the first time in real life and to meet you and put my passion and dedication on display so that you could all meet me and see the deck firsthand. And I just can't tell you how much I really appreciate everyone's, interacting with me and you've really encouraged me to keep going when I thought that this undertaking was perhaps too much to handle or to bring to fruition. Your encouragement has been just absolutely wonderful. So thanks to everyone who I've met, and thanks to everyone in the industry for having me in your space.
No, huge congratulations. And somebody who's just like not even attempting to bring product, and get funding and all that stuff to fruition. I'm just here trying to figure out my own space in the internet web stream world, right? And it's hard enough. And there's a lot of days, especially when it's, you running it, because it is your leadership and your vision, right? It's just kind of like doing everything that needs to be done. And there are days where you'd like to disappear. So thank you for sharing,
for sure.
Because again, you're now I can't quit either. So
we all give each other
it's
accountability.
huge.
Yeah, I like that, how being accountable to all these brands has kept me going, because I'm not so much I am representing myself, I'm representing my brand, but I feel that I've given the tremendous privilege to represent all of the brands that are featured in the work of art in this tarot deck. And so you've all kept me accountable and you've all kept me moving forward. So I appreciate that. You're right, Tori, when you say that there are, there's so many things to do, because I'm just a one-person operation here. And so I had this idea, I came up with this idea. I believed in it, and started along this path. And I don't know that I would have definitely would not have gotten to where I am without everyone's support. So I really do appreciate it from the support that I've gotten from people that have helped me make connections with some of the brands in order to secure that licensing agreement, and to all those people who have helped me market the project. Um, I'll just say it now so I don't forget to say it within the hour. Thanks to Love Honey Group and to Uber Lube for inviting me. Love Honey Group debuted me in the industry in ANME in 2024 in January. And, you know, um, they had the foresight to see that I needed more exposure than I could get just sitting at home behind my computer screen. And so the opportunity to get in front of everyone really helped the project out in a tremendous way. And Uberlube has invited me to come back on the road in 2025, which really helped
Yay!
me. Yeah, yeah, I was at altitude a month and a half ago, and that afforded me the opportunity to get in front of everybody one last time before we hit go on the crowdfunder. And I'll be attending ANME as well. To Nicole from Stimulate. I was at her show last year and will be there again this year, exhibiting on my own for the first time on this level.
No
So
way. We'll
yeah,
talk
I'll
later.
have
Maybe
a
I'll,
table.
because I'm an East Coaster now, which is why I have to make
Oh
all
yeah,
my
that's right.
Pacific Coast people. They're like, "Why are you doing this at 2?" Except for Ken. He's like, "Haha, I will work and make jokes, right? It's a better time for him." But no, I'm thinking of driving over there because it's not as bad in
Yeah,
North
Nashville's
Carolina
not too
now.
far.
And I
Yeah,
just wanted to see
yeah.
like if Nicole would let me just like, hey, what is it? Cherie likes to say, shake babies and kiss hands.
Yeah, reach out. It
But
was a great
now I'll
show,
bug
and
you. Yeah, I was like, if you need
yeah,
help
she
setting
chose
up or anything.
Nashville. Nashville's a central location to everyone around us, everyone around the country. Not as far to travel, no matter what coast you're on. So.
No,
Um,
that's kick ass. We got to get everybody.
yeah,
Let's do
so
it. Side
yeah, yeah.
side hustle. Let's get everybody to stimulate. Okay, and then we'll just like hover around Frank's booth and talk
I'll
about
be
stories and do
yeah, I'll tell you all
wannabe
stories based on
tarot
the cards.
readings. It'll be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I'll be reading cards all week, and I read cards at all the events that I come to, and it's been a great opportunity to get to know people on a more personal level when you open up that dialogue for a card reading, and to those who have had a card reading done by me or by anybody really, you understand that a private little world is opened up when you start that dialogue. That really is the whole basis behind the tarot deck that I've created, is that I wanted to create a platform for people to dive into and to learn about themselves and to learn about the people that they're spending time with, and open the types of conversations that are hard to start. You could be, I say this often, you could be married to somebody for 20 years, and sometimes it's still hard to break the ice and start certain conversations. To new couples, to groups of friends, to people who've been married for many years, and to everyone in between. This tarot deck, I hope, it could be there for you to learn, like I said, about yourself, learn about what's deep inside you that you want to see come out, to learn about the types of things that your partner might be interested in, and the directions that you can go within your friendship or relationship. So there's, like you said, 300 unique pleasure products scattered throughout this 80 card tarot deck. I've signed licensing agreements with over 140 different brands within this sphere, big and small. So we have everyone from Magic Wand and Doc Johnson and Cal Exotics all the way down to smaller companies like Ken's. I know you're sitting here watching us, Ken. Fedora Fabrication.
Oh, we love you,
It's
Ken.
been it's been a great honor to reach out and make these connections with the bigger companies as well as the smaller companies, because I feel that I never wanted the project to be just a commercial for the largest brands in the room. I looked at my own personal collection, and I see all the collections that we all have out there. And when you look at your own personal collection of toys and gear at home, you don't just have the biggest globally recognized brands. You also have those collars that you bought at a local marketplace. You have maybe a piece of glass that was made by a small business or an independent glass blower. You have stuff from leather workers and rope makers. And so I wanted to represent that in the tarot deck. So we break out the cards and we take a look at everything. You see the largest brands paired on the same cards with the smaller brands, and it really embraces the entire industry.
It's so much fun, and it's so much fun to fiddle
Thanks.
with right here. I wish everybody
Thank you.
had one as you're watching. I do have to give Ken, right, he needs another point. This was a good pun. I love them. He finds this conversation stimulating.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. So we are talking about stimulate. Ha ha ha. And Joe, yes, I'm early. I got a season 2. I got a new premiere spot on my own show, as I joke. No, I have moved officially to the North Carolina, and I was trying to do the show at 7 for a little bit. I'm old now and I'm tired, and then it was just kind of cutting into the family time and all that stuff. So we're trying this 5 o'clock, but I know I'm trying to get you on the show later, so don't worry if you can't do it at this time because like you're on the clock. I have pre-recording situations that I'm figuring out to go with our new super chat or the main screen, as Cam likes to call it. Yes, we love you, Ken. Thank you very much. Okay, so you've brought Vibrating Tarot to life with crowdfunding. What is crowdfunding? Just in case anybody doesn't know, because right, there's
Yeah,
supposed to be like business, right?
sure. Yeah, yeah.
What's
So
crowdfunding?
crowdfunding,
Right? And then we'll figure out how you get into it.
we fund the project through a large crowd, and I've seen a lot of projects of all sorts come to fruition this way. Not knowing anybody in the pleasure product sphere before I really dug into this, I thought that crowdfunding would be the best way to make the biggest splash across many different communities, and it really has worked that way. I've gotten people from the tarot community, and likewise people from the pleasure product industry, and everywhere in between. These two, in my opinion, in my world, and in my operating system here, these two industries, these two worlds really overlap in a tremendous way. Tarot is like a spiritual, metaphysical thing, and pleasure products, I feel they've gone hand in hand for perhaps many more years than we even know.
Oh, that's like a
But
whole
back to
other fun
crowdfunding.
episode where you could talk
That
about like the
yeah.
energies and yeah, all
Yeah,
that
yeah,
fun stuff. Because
exactly.
it's
Yeah.
absolutely part of your journey and your birthright and your responsibility, right? But okay, so and you use
So crowd
Kickstarter. So for those
yeah,
people
yeah,
out
so
there, there's different
so
businesses you could do it with. Yeah.
Yeah, Kickstarter actually didn't have us though. We're not on Kickstarter. Kickstarter kicked us off, and because like the imagery has to do with pleasure products and adult themes, I've seen pleasure products themselves funded through Kickstarter, and I thought I would have a shoe in. But when Kickstarter came time for them to approve of the project, they declined to host us, and I went through an appeal process. They I lost the appeal. So I don't know. I personally I feel that it was an error or like the wrong decision on their part, but for one reason or another, they wouldn't let me do the project on their platform. So we moved to a different platform called BackerKit. And BackerKit started off as a pledge manager. I won't get into all the details right now, but I knew of BackerKit because of being involved in Kickstarter. And BackerKit started their own platform, crowdfunding platform. And when they found out about the project, they wrapped both arms around me and they said that I was doing important work and that they wanted to help me succeed. And they've been tremendous. If anybody in this adult sphere is, wondering about crowdfunding, maybe have found some static with Kickstarter or Indiegogo. I'm not sure, what your project might be or where you're at, but BackerKit has been, great for us. The Customer service was there right from the beginning. They're always available. There's a community to outreach and to have discussions with, and they have a lot of really great mechanisms built right into the platform to help small creators take advantage of cool little ideas. Like for example, right now I have a cross collaboration partner, and we are both part of a much larger tarot crowdfunding festival that's going on right now. So there's 12 different tarot decks all crowdfunding at the same time. We're all paired up with each other. And my partner is the Baroque Publishing, the Naked Truth Tarot, the Midnight Edition. So it displays Baroque, fine art like paintings from the Baroque period across the tarot deck. I thought that we went really well hand in hand because Naked Truth, paintings of people in the nude,
Pleasure
very
products.
tasteful pleasure products. Yeah, yeah. And so everyone in the Tarot Festival has been successfully funded. It was a fixed time of 3 weeks. I probably would have wanted my own crowdfunding campaign to go longer than 3 weeks, but to be part of this festival, we all agreed to end on May 22nd. So just as a side note, we have 2 days left in our initial crowdfunding run. So if anyone's sitting on the fence or still curious about the project, check out vibratingtarot.com. It'll redirect you right to the Backer Kit platform, and you'll be able to check out the project there. And like I said, there's 48 hours left. Because we were successful, it enables us to open a pre-sale store. So the project will live on beyond May 22nd. We will continue taking pre-sale orders into the fall. So definitely throughout the summer, the option to purchase a deck is still at your fingertips.
And I'm just giving you a big hoorah here, unscripted. I
Yeah,
did
thank you.
see that you made your goal in like a week, right? So, but guys,
We
you need to get on this. If you haven't yet, I'm coming for you. I got mine. I got a sample and I'm still buying one. Okay. Like, get on it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, yeah, we met our goal. We met it very early, and it was due to all of the connections that I made throughout all of the different communities surrounding this project, certainly within the pleasure product industry. So thanks to everyone. I've seen you all flood in and give me your support in many different ways, including through the crowdfunder. So I appreciate that more than I can say, because you're not just buying a tarot deck, you're enabling me to get this project out into the world. If it wasn't for all of you, this project would just live on in the back of my mind, or I might have, you know, it's tough
Who
to put a
knows who you're
project
going
out
to
like this.
inspire? There's going to be so many stories that come
Yeah,
from this deck that you'll never know,
I
but are
hope
going to be
so.
so
Yeah,
like, that's like, I don't know, a legacy, so to speak, right? I'm not trying to get too deep or
I hope so.
whatever,
Yeah.
but that's
No,
important
I
stuff
really
that I
do.
think
Yeah.
about when that's your livelihood. Like, what are you going to create? Like, what else are you doing here? Like a lot of stuff, but what are you doing?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I feel like, you're right because I feel this is just the beginning. I feel like there's such a long road ahead and putting, getting this idea and working on it. I worked on it for 5 years to collect all of the different licensing signatures. I would send dozens of emails every day just trying to be at the forefront of people's minds and to appeal to them to join this project because I really do feel that with the right marketing and the right positioning, it could be huge. It could be really, really big. I've seen a lot of different projects just sail right over the moon, and I hope that for this project. We didn't exactly set the world on fire with our crowdfunding. We met our goal. I'm incredibly happy, but I
Hey, that
feel that
sounds
the
like
real
setting your
punch.
world on fire. Hey, like, right?
Yeah,
You
well,
didn't get the goal last time, so this is your narrative, your stuff, right? Like they
yeah.
kicked you off, and now, haha,
Yeah,
made
well,
my
no,
goal.
that's
You
true.
can't
I mean, like,
stop.
I have nothing to be, yeah, I have nothing to be sad about. I'm more happy than I have words to express. But what I'm saying is, I think the
Yeah.
real potential of this project will be seen when it hits the retail environment, because many, like hundreds and thousands of new people are going to see it when it's on those store shelves, and I have a feeling that the project's life will really take off once we get it out there into the world for real.
Well, and you kind of mentioned it, like what's next after this? Not only are you proving and trailblazing for, other like-minded people to show that, like, I know sometimes people get a little bit jealous if somebody makes a goal and it was a similar goal that maybe they had. And I'm like, hey, not only do you don't need to compare, but you just showed me the way it's
Yeah.
doable, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No, that's true. Two
the
very
more
good points.
support we could get you, it's like, okay, what next sort of projects can we get out there that maybe weren't
Yeah.
available?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
did you
I
even?
hope that I,
Oh
sorry,
no,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I hope I do inspire others to do similar things. That if I've broken down any walls or opened up any doors for anyone to express themselves and to bring their project another step forward, I'm humbled to be in that position.
No, I love that. How did you even go about selecting which products? Because I'm a person that it's like I'm either super like minuscule, like I'm either I guess there's
Yeah.
no other way, but I take it real literally. I'm either like super bottom up or like top down. I can it's hard when I have something so broad. Like how do I narrow it down to something like
Yeah,
that?
it was challenging, and especially for me not being part of the industry prior to jumping into this project. But maybe that worked to my advantage though, because the majority of things that I was looking at, they were all new to me, and there was not a predetermined hierarchy before I just dove right in. And so I learned about each product as I went. A lot of the product reviewers out there in the world were tremendously they gave me a ton of information just by perusing their blogs and seeing what they had to say, let alone private conversations that I would have with some of them. But there's just a ton of information about all these products out there in the world, and so I knew that I was tackling a huge project. I found my footing, one step at a time. I would find out about a product or a category of products or a different brand or something like that, and then I would reflect on what it really meant, what the product itself was saying to the world, what the product was saying about itself, because I wanted to always be true to the tarot deck and not to ever just be putting random products on random cards. So if you see a glass product, or if you see something made of silicone, or if you see something paired with a certain variety of lubricant, or if you see a whip on a certain card, those are all there for very specific reasons. Coming from a tarot background with knowledge in the tarot itself really helped me out because I was able to select which product would go on which card based on the meaning of the card and based on what the product actually was, what it did, what it's made of, and what color it is, the size. All of these determining factors played a role in my decision to put certain products on certain cards.
I love that, and
And,
Ken
and
hit the nail on the head. It was almost, and
yeah,
I agree, an advantage that you had no bias. You had a deep
yeah, oh
understanding
yeah, yeah, I would
of
say so.
tarot, but like, how do I make it make sense?
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, I don't know. I just had something else in my mind that just floated away, but certainly learning about the industry just opened my eyes to a whole new world, and I hope that this deck does the same thing for others because there are going to be people that are familiar with tarot but unfamiliar with pleasure products. And then on the reverse side of that, there's going to be a lot of people here familiar with the pleasure products but have no idea what tarot is at all. And I've tried to make this deck so that if you exist in either realm, you should be able to read from this deck in an intuitive way. If you know about the pleasure products, you should fall back on that knowledge in order to read what the card is trying to tell you. And if you know what the card means already, but you're unfamiliar with the product, use your knowledge of the card to shed some light on what the product is and what it does, because they both really do go hand in hand. And I hope to bring these two worlds even closer together by presenting this tarot deck.
Oh, I cannot wait to see what you come with next. Just as like, what was it? I read that Creative Act book, and one of the big things they say is like, even if it's not, your most your favorite project you work on, or it's something that quote unquote you feel makes you successful or whatever. It's like you can't get to the rest of that river of creativity if you don't like just start creating things, right?
Yeah, oh
So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you just need to start. I mean, like I was intimidated, but I started like I had this idea and I had I've told the story 1,000 times, so I'm not going to tell it again, but I had this idea for this one product to go on this one card and then another product followed. And then I realized that I opened this door to this whole universe and it was intimidating, but I just took it step by step and I was, encouraged and the feedback that I would get, encouraged me to continue moving forward. And there's no way to do a project this big and this elaborate without just taking it one step at a time. And you get, overwhelmed at certain points of time because my mind is working in so many different ways. Like, okay, I got this artwork, looking good, but um, what about the logistics? Like, where am I going to print? And like, how many decks am I going to print? Where are they going to be shipped? And where am I going to store all this? And how will it be distributed? And price points
and
and
you
and
don't
uh,
have a
re
lot of market share information available, right? You're extrapolating because you're kind of reaching
yeah,
in. It's a new product in a
yeah,
older market, but like, what do you go off
yeah.
of?
Yeah, exactly. You have to learn each little detail comes and it'll come at the right time. And you can't get overwhelmed that you're doing okay here in this section, but you're not making as much progress over there with those things. I believe that, and maybe it's because I gave myself such a long timeline. I really truly have been working on this for 5 years in order to make
Yeah,
all
I
the
was like, I
connections
kind
and
of want you to say it again for the cheap seats in the back. This has been 5 years. Like, I know a lot of us
yeah,
have side hustles, and maybe this isn't what we do full time because we got to put bread on the table or whatever. So it's just carving it out when you can, but not giving up. It took him five
yeah.
years, guys. It doesn't just happen.
It's been 5 years. I came up with the idea, actually even longer than that. I came up with the idea in 2017. I couldn't move forward with it until 2020. It was the pandemic and everybody being on lockdown that really encouraged me to bite into a new project. I looked at my idea book and with all the ideas that I have, and I zeroed in on this one. I said, you know what? We're all in lockdown. People are all locked down at home, isolated, and this project could be really popular right now. And the pandemic is years behind us now, and but that's where it started. And I'm a graphic designer and a publisher of books. And I was working for an independent publisher in my hometown when this project started. That job came to an end. I took other freelance work in the meantime and kept chipping away at this. And at one point in time, I realized that I need to dwindle down the amount of official, design work that I'm doing for clients. I need to roll that to a halt in order to put my full time and energy behind this tarot deck, or else it would be 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 years before it came out. And a couple of years ago, I stopped taking freelance work and I put my full body, soul, energy behind this product because I knew that what I had, I felt like I had a tiger by its tail, and that if I kept, putting it off, or if I wasn't so dead serious about it, that it would squiggle away and it would get away from me. And so I didn't want that. I tackled this with everything I had, and we moved forward, and here we are. So
Right? Who's
yeah,
it that says like choose your hard, right? Working at the dead end job, but you like understand that finances are coming in, security, whatever is hard. But
yeah.
going out and being your own boss and creating something that you want to put out into the universe is also hard. Choose your hard, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I chose this. I'm glad I did, and I wouldn't have done it any other way. And I'm glad it took 5 years, because I look back at the progress I was seeing in 2023 and in 2024, and I think to myself, if I put this project out last year or the year before, it would be a totally different project. I would not have had maybe half of the brands that are involved. It took me years to get some of these brands on board. It took me attending the trade shows. It took me, a lot of negotiating and getting in front of people and shaking hands and reading tarot cards for CEOs of some of these brands, and they didn't even know who I was and what I was doing with this crazy project with all these cards. But when I met somebody and we had that connection, all those pieces fell into place. And I'll just stress this again, is that nothing happens overnight. You need to keep chipping away at it, because that it's the only way to get things done. You just one step at a time, one piece of the puzzle at a time.
Thanks for saying it again, because whether the audience needed it or not, I needed it. So thank you. But also, Matthew says definitely a tiger. And I'll agree. Okay, so I have to know, in your beautiful mind of yours, what was there one pleasure product that you're like, oh my God, I have to have this one or it's not going to work?
There were a lot.
There was a lot.
I knew you were going
What
to
was
ask
the
me
first
this.
one in your mind then, I guess, so that you don't have to prioritize by whatever favoritism. You could just prioritize by.
The impetus, like the whole thing that started this project was the We Vibe course, and this is the story that I've told in every interview, because everyone wants to know where I got the idea. But I had the idea, and it started with the We Vibe chorus. Up in the sky on the lover's card of the tarot deck, and then I wrote down magic wand after that because I wasn't necessarily thinking
The
what's the
one I
next
thought you
card
were
going to
going
be.
to say. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking what's the next product going to be, and I think when you think of the most iconic product in the industry, people tend to gravitate towards the magic wand. It's just
Oh, I
it's
use I
right at the
use
top.
some of their marketing campaigns all the time as like examples or whatever. I was like, guys, they had four
Yeah,
SKUs for forever, and people
yeah.
tattoo, like they have a cult that tattoo the magic
Yeah.
wands on them. It's
I know,
it's
yeah,
it's
I know.
brilliant.
It's amazing.
There's
So I
the
do have to say, yeah. So that's the card. Yeah, that's the card that started it all. I describe it as literally being a dream come true because I had this idea in my dream and I wrote it down, and there it is on the card. And then the magic wand came next. And so I guess to answer your question in the most honest way, it'd be those two companies, because I approached both fairly early on in the project. Ken was just absolutely amazing. He's been a mentor of mine for a very long time. He not only embraced the project, but he took the time to spend some time with me discussing what the licensing agreement should look like, how to build that document so that it would appeal to all the different brands in the industry. And he was looking out for everyone when he was having that conversation with me, not just Magic Wand, but he wanted to see this project succeed, and he gave me a lot of good ideas to move forward with. So when Magic Wand joined, I, you know, it, I've fallen to my knees and thanked the heavens many times throughout this process, and that was one of them because I felt that when Magic Wand came on board, that nothing in the world could stop us because we have the most iconic product officially signed onto this project, and the rest, I just knew that the rest would follow. It was like a domino effect after that. One by
Oh, I can
one, they
understand.
all came
If
on
if
board.
Ken and or Magic Vaughn believe in anything, it's like, okay, now I have to. It's on.
Yeah, yeah, that no, that was a turning point in the project where I realized that nothing could stop us. So I moved forward with a lot more confidence after that, and We Vibe and all of Love Honey Group eventually came on. What else can I say? I'll share the number one requested toy because I didn't come up with all these brands. A lot of research for sure, but part of my research was reaching out to the not well industry, but to the my fans out there who were more familiar with the industry than I was. And I would say to them, I'm not making this tarot deck so much for me as I'm making it for all of you. So what products do you want to see on these cards? Because if you tell me a reputable brand or good product, I'm going to seek them out and I'm going to make sure that they come on board. And the Enjoy Pure Wand was time and time again the most requested product. Whenever I reached out and said, what's your favorite toy or product? Which one do you want to see in the deck? I would get the same answer coming back time and time again, the Enjoy Pure Wand. And so reaching out to Enjoy was, you know, essential for me. And each brand had their own challenges to work around, and
Hmm.
so all of them have their own story. That really is the story behind the deck too, is that I never sent out a mass email to all these brands at once. Each relationship that I built was one by one, one at a time, And I eventually got the Enjoy Pure Wand involved.
This
And
is like the
thanks
best
to,
episode to be like, I didn't think I could do it, and then I did it. Like,
yeah,
how many things?
yeah,
Like,
so
guys, you should
true.
believe in yourself. He just didn't stop, and look at where he's at right
Yeah,
now.
don't
It's
stop.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Doc Johnson, what was another huge one? Uberlube. CBN came as a result of Enjoy. Um, Crave was fantastic, solved a huge creative dilemma for our tarot deck when I put the Vesper hanging as the hanging vibe in place of the hanging man tarot card. What else can I
Yes.
say? XR Brands is found throughout the entire deck. Crystal Delights is another huge contributor. So just so many. I mean, like I could just go on
You'll
naming
have
brand after
fun
brand.
in the deck. Don't worry.
Yeah, you're gonna learn a lot. I hope that so many people out there, maybe they only know a fraction of these brands, and they're gonna get this tarot deck in their hand, and they're gonna spread all these cards out, and they're gonna say, "What is that?" or "What is that? What does that do? That one looks kind of weird. This one looks interesting. Like, what are these things?" And I've written a 120-page guidebook that comes with the deck of cards, and it explains each product. It lists each product on each card. Each tarot card has its own page in the guidebook. So when
So
you look
much
through
fun.
the guidebook, there's so much going on. Yeah, you're going to see like a black and white image of the tarot card, a list of all the products and brands, and then like keywords and a description of what the card means. So the guidebook is a huge component because I know that a lot of people are going to dive into this and not know exactly what they're looking at. And so the guidebook is always going to be there to reference so that people can continue learning about the industry and about everything that we have, everything that's already out there that's at our fingertips is accessible through just learning about them all and getting out there and visiting your adult retailer. I found that my job along the way, maybe I gave myself this job, but it was to connect new customers and new clients with new brands and new retail environments. And so if I could get a new person out there to strap their boots on and walk into an adult store for the first time seeking out something that they saw on the deck, I would feel that I did my job and I helped the industry out in a small way.
Dude, that rocks. Like, I love it. What else could you expect to get out of anything? Right? Like, I love it. I love it. Okay. Are you gonna be ready for rapid fire? Or does
Yeah,
anybody have questions out there for Frank before I
yeah,
make
I'd
the
love
monkey
any
dance
questions. Yeah.
and I do the
I
rapid fire? So I started just doing rapid fire questions. What was it? I was just decision fatigued at the beginning of this year when I was doing a couple episodes. And then it became actually really useful because they're very easy to clip for the social medias. So we get
Oh,
to know
good.
Frank. And then that's the fun part too. Like I use this, and it's my show. So yes, I'm using it to educate, but also I get to catch up and I get to network and y'all can just come. It's like a big, like we go to dinner. Like I love those industry dinners, right? Where we like sit down and you just start bullshitting. Like we were talking books and all this other crap at the circle
Yeah.
bar. It's like a little bit of that, right?
Yeah.
Something,
Yeah.
something. Okay, so guys, Frank's just not supposed to think too hard, and we'll see what he comes up with the questions. All right. So if you had to assign one pleasure product to represent the Fool card, which is my card, what would it be?
Well, there is a product on the Fool card in this tarot deck. To
Well,
not
so I guess,
overthink
but
it,
like in a
I,
dream without any licensing
You know,
limitations,
you
I
know what?
guess.
It would be this tarot deck then. It would be my product to be on the Fool card because I'll sell. The Fool card
Okay,
is
you know, I
often
like that. Like,
misunderstood.
because this was your big dream,
Yeah,
like
because
up in the
this was
sky.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Fool card is not foolish. The Fool card represents any of us who are bold and confident enough to set our feet upon a path that we don't know very much about. And so I feel that that's what I've done here with this project. I set upon a new path. I was unfamiliar with the terrain, and I'm here today. So
Oh, I love that
if I
even
could call
more.
anyone the fool, it would be me. It would be this very tarot deck we're talking about.
Hey, we're in the same zone. Add the sweat streak to your deck. We got it. Okay. So what's the weirdest or most surprising product that you've seen in tarot context? Or I guess wish existed as you were doing your research?
Yeah, I would say that there was this tarot deck that came along by an artist named Claire Goodchild from The Black and the Moon, and she's done two noteworthy decks that I have in my collection. One is the Antique Anatomy Tarot, and one is the Memento Mori Oracle deck, and they feature human bones. So like there's
Really great artwork.
like the pelvis bone. There's like the vertebrae. There's like the femur on a card, and it really inspired me because I thought to myself, if you could extrapolate meaning behind seeing a human femur on a tarot card, anything could go on the tarot cards. So that like opened up a whole
Wow.
new universe. It opened up a whole new understanding of what the tarot could be, and really, in a lot of ways, it helped me connect the dots to come up with this idea myself.
I love that. I love that. I mean, we kind of talked about it already, but write it down in case you want to reiterate or change your answer. But one brand that you were most excited that said yes to the Vibrating Tarot.
Um, Yeah, we probably already mentioned, well, we already mentioned We Vibe because I had that vision of that card
And the
and it came to
Enjoy.
fruition. The Enjoy because it was the most requested. The Magic Wand because I felt that was at like the tip top of everyone's list, and when I got that, a lot of walls were just like blasted down
Fair,
for me to
fair.
walk right over. Yeah, Uberlube was another one. CBN
This is your
has
love letter to those brands,
yeah.
kind of. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So many different brands, really. Hard to name just one, but I've already named a few.
Oh, okay. Well, so then we might have accidentally, yes, eschew, McQueener. He wants one too. Yes, eschew. Okay, so you might have mentioned it because you were talking about some tarot cards and we were identifying ourselves. But if you had to pick one card from the deck to represent you, I guess if it's not the Fool, what is it?
I would say one of the page cards. The page cards there's one per suit. So there's the suit of rope, the suit of lubricant, the suit of whips, and the suit of plugs. And any of those pages that exist in any of those suits, I feel that I embody that energy. The page is a student, and I come to you all as an apprentice. I have much to learn from everyone here, and I feel that just at the beginning of my journey here. And so the more I learn, the better I'll be. And I learn so much from everyone with all of my interactions with you. And so that thirst for knowledge, that position of being, a protege, I feed off that. And maybe one day I'll be the mentor, but not today. Today I'm still learning from everyone. I'm glad to be in that position.
I feel like you might be mentoring right now, Frank. I'm sorry to tell you that. Like I know people hit up the replays later and I'll be sure to give you any feedback. But like, and again, that's the thing we can talk about. You don't know who you're going to inspire, right? You don't know what you don't know.
It's
And I
true.
know there's been
Yeah,
plenty of conversations with people that I unfortunately maybe don't even speak to, or they were strangers or something. You never know what's going to
sure.
spark
Yeah.
some sort of creative
Yeah,
thought.
it's true. Yeah. Yeah.
All
No,
right.
very true.
Are you ready for the last one? I don't know. Okay. Describe your creative process in 3 words.
Dive right in.
There you go.
Just dive in and swim. Just
That was
if I did,
beautiful.
when I dove into this, I didn't know if the water was shallow or deep. I didn't know if it was clean or dirty. I didn't know if it was hot or cold, but I just dove right in because you have an idea. David Lynch has this great, series of quotes, a quote where he says, catching an idea is like catching a fish. You need to cast a line, and if something bites, you must reel it in. You must, give that idea oxygen and see where it can go. And I had this idea one day, and I just dove right in. I threw caution to the wind. I said, "Fuck it. I'm just going to dive right in. I'm going to see where this leads." And it's led to an amazing place. It's led to a lot of new relationships and a lot of new knowledge and a project that I'm very proud of. So I just dive in and swim. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. We're so excited, me and McQueen here, the Royal Week, right? I'm so excited to see where else you go. And whenever my deck comes in, you get updated artwork here. All right.
Yeah.
So fabulous audience of my one person that is Ken. Ha ha, I'm joking. There might be more people. But see, I don't know what I don't know. Opening it up for one more minute, I'm going to give Frank just a minute to, hey, do the shameless plugs, how to reach out to him. If you guys do have questions, or if you have a quick question now, throw it up on the super chat. Haha, Mara's standing in for Ken. Oh, that water is very dirty. Oh my goodness. He's got to get one last pond in. I freaking love you, Martha. And then there's two of us on the P3. Oh, there are. And Ken, now look at two people. Thank you. The two people. If you've got questions, I won't give up on you. Can't give up on me. I'm not giving up on you. Throw them in now. Otherwise, Frank, tell us how to get a hold of you if we need to get a hold of you later.
Well, really do. I encourage everyone out there watching and listening, reach out to me, really. I'm on everywhere on social media under the name Vibrating Tarot. So just type that into your favorite social media platform and you'll find me. You'll find representation of this project. I'm on Facebook. Frank Lawrence is my name. Vibrating Tarot is the name of the project. Reach out, ask for a friend request. I've been meeting so many new people throughout this process, and like I said, it's great for me to be connected with all of you because I hope to find my footing in this industry after this project is over, in one way or another. I've talked to so many of you. I've brought so many brands on board and brought so many brands together under this project, and so I'm familiar with the landscape. I'm familiar with the people. I want to, I feel like I'm floating right now, but one day when this project is behind me, I'm gonna come back down to earth. And as far as a formal job is concerned, I really do hope that I can exist within this industry and continue seeing it grow and helping it grow and being a part of it.
Well,
But
a good and bad
vibratingtarot.com.
thing is once you're in, you're in. I guess you could ask
Yeah,
Pam that too,
so many
right?
people,
I
so
think
many
you're
people have said
in.
that.
So
I hope so. Yeah, I really do. I don't want to be anywhere else. You've invigorated me. I didn't even know of this industry,
same.
and now I'm right in the middle of it, and I hope to continue offering something to it as we move forward. Really I can't understand state how important it is for me to continue along this path that I've started here. Um, but I was going to say vibratingtarot.com is sort of like a parent URL. Right now, it redirects you to the crowdfunding campaign. In a few days, when the official crowdfunding campaign comes to an end, it will redirect you to the pre-sale store. And that pre-sale store will stay open until around September. So I'm going to spend the rest of the summer tying up all the loose ends, getting all those last signatures on the licensing agreements, continue to bring in sales for the deck and building bridges with distributors and so forth and so on. So vibratingtarot.com really is where all the action is. Um, so check that out. Like I said, we have 48 hours left in the first initial crowdfunding run.
And you have a free
So
font that I forgot to mention.
oh
Is that stuff?
yeah,
What's
okay.
what's
So
going on with the
vibrating.
free font, right? Like things get better, guys. I forgot. It gets better.
So there's a font. Okay, so the font, I wanted to release the font like weeks ago, months ago, really, to be honest, so that it could be out there in the world and people could be aware of it and find their way to the
And use it in your
project via the
PowerPoint
font.
presentations.
Yeah. Um, the font kicked my butt though. There were some last minute technical things that I didn't see upcoming, and I wasn't able to release it months ago, but it still very much is a marketing tool for the project. And the font is actually available right now. I quietly and unceremoniously made it available last night on my website. So if you go to Pallor Publishing, that's the name of my publishing company, Pallor publishing.com. And you go to the Vibrating Tarot section, you'll see a drop-down menu that says Vibrating Font. And go click on there and download the font. It's a free download. It's for non-commercial use only. It collects over 200 hand-drawn icons that are seen in the tarot deck, and it's not a typeface. So like the products don't arrange into like the letter A, B, C. They're just straight technical illustrations of the product itself. And this is known as a dingbat font. And so you'll download it. It's usable on Mac and PC computers and tablets. And so you'll download this font, and then when you're in Microsoft Word or Adobe Illustrator or whatever you use, you'll go to the font menu, you'll select vibrating font, and you'll start typing along, and you'll see the different icons pop up in place of the letters. And
So much
like I
fun.
said, I'm a font designer, I'm a typographer by trade, and I started drawing all of these images for the coloring book, the Vibrating Tarot coloring book. And then I had all these illustrations, and I thought, why not make a font? It's just like comes naturally to me to make a font out
Why
of
not
these
do more work
drawings.
for myself? Because I can.
Yeah, no, that really what I mean, like it was a lot of work, but I did it for the industry. I did it for all those people out there who love these products, and I did it for myself as a marketing tool for the project. So people are going to find out about this tarot deck through finding out about the font, and I have like thousands and like over close to 200,000 downloads on some of the fonts that I've put out there
Wow.
in the world. And so when this one is added to that collection, I know that more people are going to download and use this font than even know about the tarot deck itself. So I know a lot of people are going to be introduced to the tarot deck as a way by finding the font. So it's there for a lot of different purposes. But it
So
is for
that's so much fun.
non-commercial use only.
I'm not a commercial. I don't think. If anything, I just like to type things
Yeah,
out to
yeah.
never.
Well, I mean, like, I think the only way I could have really brought this font to fruition was by doing it to be non-commercial. Otherwise, people could take the icons and like put them on a mug or a t-shirt and sell them
Yeah,
in
and then
local
it's just
marketplaces, and it spirals out and it becomes this thing
it's
where
unfortunate that that
people
is the
use.
way.
Yeah, I never wanted any intellectual property to be abused, and so it comes with a non-commercial use license, and you'll download the font, you'll read the license, you'll understand that you can use it for personal use. There's examples of things that you can use it for, and examples of things that you can't use it for. So I've really tried to be straightforward about that. But it is there. Create a mood board, design a tattoo, use them for home decorations, design an invitation to a private personal party that doesn't have a cover charge. There's scholarly, educational uses for it, and so there's a lot of things that people can use it for.
That's awesome. And again, brilliant using it as a marketing tool and giving it to the whole community. I love it. See,
Yeah.
the learning goes on and on. I didn't know all these things about typography. Did you? I mean, you did, but the rest of the world, I did
I
not.
did,
Like, you never
but
know what
this is
nugget you can get.
exactly, and this is yet another thing that I'm introducing to people. They're going to find out about this font, and they're going to realize that if there's a whole universe of fonts out there, and so. Um, so yeah, I don't know, just connecting the dots in any way that I know how. So
I love
I
it.
wanted
Thank
to make this
you for
font
all your hard work.
for thank you. Yeah, thank you. It's been a pleasure to do this and to give back to this community that has given so much to me. It's a free gift to everyone out there because you've come and helped me make this tarot project possible. And so it's a gift to the sex educators out there that have kept me on the straight and narrow. It's a gift to all the different brands out there for being part of the project, and it's a gift for all the fans out there for coming in and supporting the tarot deck.
Thank
And I
you.
hope
I
that
think
if
it's
I
going to be
give
fun.
something, I learned this in school that if you give away something of value for free, people will come back and pay for the thing that you're actually selling. And so, you know, it's not just a gift; it's also a marketing tool for me. So,
That's a whole other episode we could do. Guerrilla marketing's back and better than
yeah,
ever, in my
yeah,
opinion, if
yeah.
you
You
know
need to
what you're looking
be.
for.
Yeah. You need to be creative, and I feel this was a creative marketing component. So yeah.
Oh goodness. I can't wait to see where else it goes and mess around with the font for myself.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have to do the wrapping up now.
Yeah,
The joke, because I got
it's
kids to
that time.
feed, and
Oh, the
I'm trying
wrapping
to
up.
not
I get
make
it.
this like, I know, right? I'm trying not to make this like a 90-minute podcast, but it could be that someday. So again, thank you so much. This rocked. You seriously, this was my best new season kickoff, so to speak. Thank you
Good,
for
good.
being my season 2, and for sharing all. It's not easy to do any of the things that you're doing right now, and just saying thank you for keeping me motivated. Next week I have Timothy coming, and we're going to do a whole deep dive into, not just selling lube, but commodities, right? I got like scripts coming, I'm using all like my good old Freeman records and all that good stuff. So, because I know a lot of people are struggling with making sure that their basket size is there at the counter, because we're all trying to make our money right now, right? So that'll be super fun. But if anybody wants to reach out to me or to Frank, I got social medias, and I'm working on making my YouTube better. And you can DM me, or you can probably smoke signal Frank, and he'll get it to me.
Yeah, do
At this
so.
point,
Really,
we'll
reach
figure
out
it out.
anytime.
We're all just what did Ken say today? We're the rising tide of ships right now in the industry. And if you've got an open mind, and you want to chat, and you want to brainstorm, and you need some help, that's what we're here for, right? Oh, Ken, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. You're awesome too. And Matthew, you do rock as well. I want to know how XBiz went. We got to figure that out later too. Okay, we're gonna sign off now. It's Tuesday. Welcome back, everybody. Go get your tarot deck, because this is art and education and creativity and small business and our friend Frank, and it's just dang fun. What else are you doing with your life? Okay, signing off. Love you all.